I don't even know if it's a season. I know WrestleMania is a season. I don't know about Royal Rumble, but we are days away from the Royal Rumble, and I'm so excited because it's one of my favorite pay-per-views. Just like I'm sure it's a lot of your favorites as well. If you do see right behind me, that is the 2019 Royal Rumble chair. I was there live. I had a blast. My only complaint is that I took my asshole of a boyfriend at the time, and he did not deserve to go to the Rumble. He was so annoying. He got drunk. He sort of ruined it for me, but I said, as soon as Kurt Angle comes out, he is not going to ruin it. This is my freaking moment, because that was my first time seeing Kurt Angle live, and he did not ruin my moment. I stood up with intensity, integrity, and intelligence. Without further ado, these are my Royal Rumble predictions. I did write it down because I have an allotted amount of time to push this video out. So to memorize all this, you know, I'm just gonna read it off. For the Women's Rumble, coming back from an injury, I do have Liv Morgan returning. I feel like that's kind of like a 100% for sure thing that's going to happen. When it comes to surprise entrants, the women's division usually has to rely on a lot of legends to come back, but right now with NXT and the main roster just being completely stacked, I don't necessarily see a lot of legends returning, but there are 3 that I definitely want to see in this year's Royal Rumble. Number 1 being Melina Perez. I grew up watching her. I loved her so much. And another woman that I grew up watching is Eve Torres. And for the 3rd legend is none other than AJ Lee. AJ Lee is my all-time go. AJ Lee can never do any wrong for me. I would love to see her in the ring, even if it is a one-off. And I would love to see her interact with Roxanne Perez. And speaking of Roxanne Perez, here are my NXT entrants. From NXT, I obviously see Tiffany Stratton showing up. I feel like it would be an absolute crime to not bring in the likes of Tiffany Stratton. She easily is the woman's face of the NXT women's division. I know that Lyra Valkyrie, I think that's how you pronounce it. I know that she's champ at the moment, and we may see her as well. But I didn't include her, even though she's probably going to be there. The second person that I did include is Roxanne Perez. If AJ Lee does show up at the Rumble, we can have her and Roxanne Perez sort of maybe have like a face-off, and the crowd goes wild because it's a legend and the rookie. Unfortunately, because of an injury, I had to take Cora Jade off my list. But I would have loved to see a Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, AJ Lee sort of standoff, maybe just looking at each other and smiling and then going back to kicking ass or something like that. But if AJ Lee does show up at the Royal Rumble, I think it will be just a one-off, and I would like her to interact with Roxanne Perez in some way. The 3rd woman from NXT I do see, and maybe out of pocket, but I think Lash Legend. I know that there are a ton of women that can possibly show up. I'm going with Lash Legend more so because she can have a Royal Rumble moment. We saw it at NXT Deadline. She can have that giant meeting moment where they just take out a bunch of entrants. I feel like Lash Legend would be perfect to do so. I also think transitioning into surprise entrants, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill can also have that same moment. I think we will be seeing Jade Cargill early on. I don't think they're going to save her at the very end. I think if AJ Lee does make a one-off return, or if she returns, I think she'll be towards the end. I also see Trinity coming towards the end, and if Sasha Banks decides to come back, I definitely see Sasha Banks as number 30. And as far as who wins the Royal Rumble, I see none other than Bayley winning. And if Bayley doesn't get it, then I may see Sasha if she returns. But Bayley seems to be the fan favorite. I've been saying Bayley for a couple of months now, just because 2023 has been a really bad year for her, you know. Not when it comes to like her faction. I mean, even with her faction. But I'm also talking about her win-loss ratio. Like, it is gross. It is so bad. 2024 is going to be Bayley's freaking year. Now, transitioning into the men, I do see Big E returning from injury. I also see Braun Strowman returning from injury. From NXT, I do have Braun Breaker, I have Carmelo Hayes, and I have Trick Williams. Now, I think Trick and Carmelo are going to have a spot during the Rumble where they're going to continue the storyline. Maybe Carmelo takes out Trick or vice versa, but I think they both will be there, and I think it will be a surprise for Carmelo if Carmelo does come out first and he listens to Trick's music and you just see his face and he's going to look surprised like, what? I thought I was the NXT dude that's going to be here. And maybe there will be some built up animosity / heat. Carmelo takes out Trick, or Trick takes out Carmelo. Kind of like, yeah, dude, like, I know it was you that freaking beat my ass up. For the men's return / surprises, Andrade is returning to the WWE. We all know he's coming. And I feel like the Royal Rumble is the perfect place. I see Tyler Breezy showing up, okay? If Tyler Breezy shows up, I'm saying. Shawn Spears, I included him just because I know he's no longer in AEW. Do I necessarily think that Triple H is seeking out Shawn Spears? No disrespect to Shawn Spears. I just feel like there's a lot of talent out there. Again, no disrespect to Shawn Spears. Don't come at me in the comments. But if he does show up at the Rumble, then that'll be freaking cool. I kind of see a Mr. Kennedy. Showing up. I don't know why. I freaking love Mr. Kennedy. Probably that's why. I always expect this man to show up. And for the last surprise / return, I do see Uncle Howdy. I did write in Uncle Howdy because I don't know if Bo Dallas will come back as Bo Dallas or if Bo Dallas will continue the story. Now, when we're talking about winners, there's been a lot of things happening in the last couple of weeks. I always assumed that CM Punk was gonna win the Rumble, call out Seth Rollins, and during that same call out, he was going to call out Cody Rhodes and tell Cody Rhodes, you can finish your story now, and Cody Rhodes can go after Roman Reigns. There's also the question of where The Rock versus Roman is going to take place. So I'm going with CM Punk as the winner, but I'm not as adamant as I was because we are in a very uncertain stage going into the Royal Rumble, going into WrestleMania. We don't know who's going to finish the story. We don't know who's going to be World Heavyweight Champion by the time WrestleMania gets here. So for the women's Royal Rumble, I do have Bayley, and for the men's, I do have CM Punk. And that is it for my Royal Rumble predictions. Like and subscribe!
Hey, buddy, is this made from real or artificial babies? Ow, 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 ow!